how many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to Starts or Sits, running back edition for Week 10. This is 14P Fantasy. I am your host, Justin Wright. Today, we got 6 names that are all probably on the edge of consideration for lineups. So, some guys we're going to lay out as, must-start RB2s, some flex plays, and some sits. Again, it's team-specific. Some of these guys may be your second-best running back. It's a weird landscape out there. So if you got to start them, go ahead and do that. Again, don't pivot away from somebody if you're going to pivot to somebody significantly worse just because he may be a sit in this video. All right, guys. First on the list is Darrel Williams. And the only reason he's a flex play and not, a locked and loaded top 20 RB2 is just the Chiefs offense has been weird. Darrel Williams has broken 15 points once in the last 3 games. The Chiefs are kind of in disarray. And honestly, I'm going to say it. I'm not worried about Derek Gore. Only 3 touches last week. Darrel Williams still had over 20 touches, so he's the guy here. But it's tough to trust the Chiefs offense. The matchup itself, when you look at it, it looks middle of the road on paper. Raiders are not a must-start super smash spot here. But when you compare them to what the average running back is scoring, or a running back typically scores, they're allowing an 18% uptick in scoring. So if a running back averages 10 points a game, the average running back is going to score 11.8 against the Raiders. So that is a notable uptick. That is the 6th highest rate in the league. So it's a better matchup than it looks on paper. The only knock is the Chiefs offense. What the hell do you do with it? Realistically, I'm most likely playing Darrel Williams where I have him. But, unless I got, some top tier running backs, he's probably going to slot in as your RB2. All right, guys, this one is a contingency plan. We'll call it that. Devin Singletary is only an RB2 if Zach Moss does not clear concussion protocol. If not, you got to move him back down to low-end flex consideration because of the matchup. So if Zach Moss is out, if Zach Moss misses time, Devin Singletary is potentially a top 15 running back. And that's because the Jets are just terrible against running back. There's no other way to put it. That stat we just threw out for the Raiders, running backs an average 18% more against them. The Jets, it is over 70%. So if you, on average, score 10 points a game, if you play the Jets, you're going to score 17. So Devin Singletary is pretty much at that 10-point threshold. So there is a likely chance he breaks 15 points this week if Zach Moss misses, and he could even go into the 20s if he finds the end zone. So if you're looking at Devin Singletary and he's on waivers, it's worth monitoring the situation on Zach Moss because, again, you could luck into a high-end RB2 in Week 10 here. Next guy on the list, we have Javonte Williams versus the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think he slots in as an RB2. You have to trust Javonte Williams at this point in the season. Again, do you anticipate a giant blow-up game, talking 20, 30 points? No, not really. But he's proven to be consistent. He gets pass-catching work. He gets plenty of touches. And really, when running backs, you're just looking for volume, it does help. He's coming off his first 100-yard game. Philly's allowing almost 25 points a game to the running back, which is near the bottom of the NFL. And again, Javonte Williams is just good. He leads the NFL in forced missed tackle rate. No other running back is over 30%. He's at like 35, 36%. He's just a damn good player. And again, he's broken double digits 2 of the last 3 weeks here, coming off of his first 100-yard game. Hopefully, he can keep the momentum rolling against Philadelphia in what should be a slow-paced game with plenty of runs. So again, the opportunity should be there for Javonte Williams. Moving on, we have Adrian Peterson versus New Orleans Saints. And I get it. He found the end zone last week. That's fine. That's what you're hoping for. Even then, he still didn't break 10 points. You can't play Adrian Peterson again. And he looked like a 36-year-old running back. He looks like a guy that was just sitting on his couch for 9 months and, working out, but not in football shape. And I don't expect that to really change in week 10, his second week back. Jeremy McNichols still saw plenty of work. Donta Foreman is somehow back from an Achilles and a million other things going on in his life. He's back. Adrian Peterson is a good bet for 10 to 15 touches. Again, but that may be one target like he had last week and a bunch of carries for a guy that averaged 2.1 yards a carry. And now you add in a significantly better defense in New Orleans. They are, allowing under 17 points a game to the running back as a whole on the season. You can't play Adrian Peterson again. I've seen him on waivers in some leagues, and I get it. He's not an exciting play at this point in his career, obviously. Number 5. Number 5 on the list, Antonio Gibson versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And this one's weird because it's Antonio Gibson, right? We all drafted him back of the second, early third round, hoping for, a potential RB1 season. It's been derailed by injuries, bad quarterback play. J.D. frickin' McKissick is still there and doing J.D. McKissick things because he's a good pass catching back. But the thing is, Antonio Gibson, he's coming off a bye. It's a bottom 6 matchup. If you have to play him, I get it. Again, I don't blame you. There's not a lot of stats I can throw out for Antonio Gibson. He's hurt. We don't really know what to expect. I'm going to play him in the flex most likely, and I hate it. But he's similar to Adrian Peterson, and if he finds the end zone, he becomes relevant. So if you're going to take the chance on Antonio Gibson, it's got to be a deeper league, I think. You're talking 12 teams. You're talking, maybe a second flex. Otherwise, you can sit him down. That's the only places I'm playing him. So keep that in mind. It might be tough sledding, especially against Tampa if it gets out of hand early. And to close us out, we have Jordan Howard versus the Denver Broncos, a man I will always love as a Chicago Bears fan. I freaking love Jordan Howard. And he's been admittedly pretty solid. But again, no receiving work the last 2 weeks. It's all rushing, and he needs a touchdown. He needs it. The difference between him and Antonio Gibson is Antonio Gibson has potential to catch passes. That doesn't exist for Jordan Howard. It never really has in his career. That's always been the knock in fantasy. And it doesn't help that Denver is 29th in points above average. Running backs average 16% less than their season average when they play Denver. So Jordan Howard, a guy that is probably, 10 to 15 points, you're taking away 15, 16% of his production. He's looking as a low end RB2 at best, and most likely not a very viable flex play. Jordan Howard, I get it. He's been good. I'm not going to trust him this week, especially against that Denver defense. All right, everybody. That is all we have. If you got questions, drop them below. If you got comments, let me hear them. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow me over on Twitter at Justin_14P for more fantasy random stats I'll throw out throughout the week, whatever else is going on in the Twitter world. All right, guys. As always, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.